Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Dr. Fantastic Interviews. Today, I've got an old friend, Aage Nost, author, radio host, who does a lot of great things. Aage, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Mr. Fantastic.
Now, as everyone knows listening, this show brings you information and technology that improves the mind, the body, or the planet, and you have access to what's called quantum technologies that, if I'm not mistaken, improve all three of those things.
Well, absolutely, because quantum mechanics has proven to us by repeatable experiments and equations on the blackboard that we live in a mind-created universe. So, if we look at that, whatever's in our mind is probably what we should expect in our existence. I didn't say life, because what we see around us is not life. It is an existence.
Well, I've seen quantum technologies alter physical things like electricity and electromagnetic frequencies and what have you. So, the quote from Rene Descartes is one of my philosophies. If you think you're happy, you're happy. If you think you're sad, you're sad. But and there is the conscious life expo I attended recently. That was amazing. Did you happen to go down to that, Aage?
Oh, absolutely. And you have established yourself as Mr. Fantastic, and you recommend for everybody to tell themselves they are fantastic several times to better understand the question. And that is that for the last 300 years or so, we've been told that matter and energy cannot be created from nothing. Then again, now we got a problem, because some of the sharpest people on the planet, like Stephen Hawking out of Cambridge University in England, and bless his soul, he just left us, and most other theoretical physicists, they're saying right now that their equations on the blackboard show this universe was created from nothing. So if this whole universe was created from nothing, and you are in this universe created from nothing, what are you?
Well, my answer to that would be I'm something, because it is now existing. I mean, it may have started from nothing, but now it is something.
Yes, it is something, but is it physical?
Well, it goes back to the great movie The Matrix. What is reality?
Yeah, reality and what we see around us may not be the same thing. So there is another quantum physics has proven that there is another analogy, and that is that I'm a hypnotist, and let's say I put you in a deep, soft chair and talk to you for 15, 20 minutes, and I tell you that when you wake up, you will see an elephant standing next to you in the room. If I did my job right, when you wake up, you'd see that elephant. You can reach out and touch the snout on him, and you can feel the rough skin. You can hear him breathing and smell it. It's right there. It is perfectly real for you.
I agree completely.
So now look at that. What happened to your real world? I can't see that elephant because he's not there, but you can see him, you can feel it. What happened to your real world right now?
Right. Also, under hypnosis, most people physically cannot make their bodies stiff as a board, where someone could actually stand on them between two chairs. Under hypnosis, you can. So that goes to show you how strong the mind is.
Yes, absolutely. And it is that mind-created situation again. See, this is the intelligence behind when you're saying, I am fantastic. You're telling yourself that you're fantastic, and if you think it, if you feel it, if you visualize yourself in a fantastic situation with things around you that is pleasurable to you, and things that you have there that also other people enjoy, and you put emotion with you, gratitude for already having it, even though you don't have it yet, you feel the gratitude, and you add love to that. Now you have given it a secondary form of life, because you have created it in your mind, you placed it into the universal mind, or the super creation, or the Akashic records, or whatever you want to call it, And now, anytime that you want to think about that, all you have to recreate that picture and those feelings in your mind. And you go to that place where you placed it. And you retrieve it and you relive it again. If you do this over and over again, you start bringing it into the physical existence.
Through the subconscious, right? A lot of people,
yes.
a lot of times I say, positive thoughts manifest positive action.
Yes, and it's proven over and over and over again, and it's repeatable. Because let's say that, take it totally to the other end of the scale. If somebody that is a really, really rotten person, whatever that means, thinks about violence and drugs and stealing and all crime and all that, that's on his passion, that is what he will draw to him.
Correct.
If you are a good person that do wonderful things for people and think wonderful things, that is what you will draw to you.
I'm so glad you're in 100% sync with me. I have a funny story, Aage. A young lady got in my car, and I asked her how she was, and she's the only person out of thousands to say, "I'm sad and lonely." And I said to her, "I have good news for you, and I've got bad news for you." The bad news is, if you tell total strangers that, I mean, there's a time and place to tell people that, then that's your mother or your psychiatrist. But to tell a total stranger that, what you're doing is you're manifesting it, you're believing it, you're sharing it, you're going to continue down that path. And secondly, you're not going to make many friends that way. That's the bad news. The good news is you just met Dr. Fantastic, and I'm going to give you the prescription for a longer and happier life. When you start telling people that you're fantastic, even if you're sad, lonely, depressed, and down, it's going to force a smile on your face, which releases endorphins, dopamine, serotonin. You're going to feel better. But more importantly, the person that heard that doesn't know you're sad and lonely, will want to be your friend because you just said you were fantastic, and you're going to manifest friendship, and you're going to turn around your sad and loneliness. What do you think? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And when you said that to the girl, she did smile, didn't she?
You can't not smile when you hear the word, and when you say the word, it forces you. Every day, Aage, I tell people to say, "I am fantastic," and they say it, and then I tell them to say, "I am fan-friggin-tastic," or sometimes even more harsh than that. And when you see them smile, when you see them laugh, and they feel the energy they get from it, it changes their lives. And I'm starting to get a lot of attestations about how this movement has helped people. And Aage, I don't know if you know this or not, but someone's asked me to do a documentary on the movement. So I'm going to chronicle conversations like we're having today and speeches I'm going to be making in the future on the development and the rollout of this, what I call international movement to make the world a better place. I'm in 10 countries right now. We've got over 1,100 subscribers to the YouTube channel, which is how I track the movement. And my goal is 1 million. I've got a couple people trying to get me on the Ellen Show. And I'm dedicated to this because when I take on a challenge, I like to see it through. My short-term goal is 1 million people being fantastic. It's like bringing the small town mentality to the big city. You know, the big city, we have too many greedy, selfish, litigious people. We need to start making everyone accountable and to be friendly and kind and courteous and giving. And I'm feeling the results myself by making so many people smile each day. It's fascinating. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's just like the law of attraction. You have to put it out there. And whatever other reactions that you get from other people, it reflects right back to you. So in fact, it helps you too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And when you look at what you're doing there, you are starting to engage the mastermind principle. By getting a lot of people involved, concentrating on the same thing, you are engaging the mastermind principle, which means that when two or more minds are united in harmony, they create a third mind that has the potential mind power of the two or more of them multiplied by each other.
I like that. I never heard of that before. Tell me more.
Yeah. If you have 1,000 people thinking the same thing and intending for the same thing, you have the mind power of 1,000,000 people, 1,000 times thousands. So think of that. See, intention, pure intention is no longer just a thought. It's an energy. And the intention, of course, has to be paired with visual images and emotion, gratitude and love, and a few other things. When you do that, that is extremely powerful. It can change physical existence, reality.
Yes, I'm agreeing with that, but I like that mastermind principle. That sounds really good.
Yep.
Who is it? Mark Twain once said that the two best days in a person's life are the day they are born and the day they discover why. And after so many different things I've worked in my life around the world, I think I've discovered my why, and I'm having a hell of a time sharing it with people. It's about being positive.
Yeah, it's fun too.
It's really fun. I highly recommend it. And did you hear my interview from the guy at the Conscious Life Expo? I think his name was Eric Hunter.
No.
Oh, you really got to go back. It's one of my podcasts about a week ago, and it changed his life in 10 minutes. He gave a speech at the Conscious Life. He said it was the best speech he ever gave. All his employees and everybody came up to him and said it was an incredible speech. And he told his wife about being fantastic that night. And him and his wife now are total converts to being fantastic. And when I hear stories like that, it makes me feel like I'm actually doing the right thing, you know?
Yeah. It really makes a difference in people. Just a little thing that'll take you about 1 3/4 seconds to say.
I know. I tell people it's the easiest New Year's resolution you'll ever make.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then just keep saying it every day.
The beauty of it is everyone, every day, in every country gets asked that question. We can't change the question. When it's going to be around another 600 years, you know where the question came from. I told you that before, right?
Yeah, that's right.
The Black Plague, and it saved your life to ask that question. But today it's rhetorical, but everyone gets asked it every day. So imagine if everyone just starts adopting a better answer, a more productive answer, a more fun answer than good.
Yeah.
So I'm having a lot of fun.
You are probably, imagine you're going to do some meetings on the Facebook and maybe on Zoom or somewhere, but you get a bunch of people together, and then you start going to the second stage, which is engaging the mastermind in being fantastic.
Yeah. I'm releasing a new type of Zoom platform on my app. My app will be coming out in a couple of weeks, and it'll have a platform that's the easiest. It's like Zoom, but you don't have to download a program. You merely click on the link that's sent to you, and you're in the meeting. So that's going to be a fun little device that I want this app to just create a community of like-minded, positive individuals, whatever they're into, quantum or psychic or being a medium or whatever it is, anything positive that helps other people, then I want them to be part of this community.
Yeah. And it is so simple. All you really need to do is just keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Tell me more. Tell the audience more about Aage. Aage, the multifaceted radio host, author. You have a pirate. I think you have a thing called what is it? Some of your talk show. What are they called?
I was born and raised in Europe, and came to the United States at the age of 25, and I wanted to become a commercial pilot, and I did that, flew for 23 years, and we had our own flight school, air taxi, and commuter airline. And from there on, I started doing radio and other things, and I ended up having 2 TV shows in Tucson for 6 years, where I was covering all the stuff that other media didn't dare to touch. And of course, I've been doing radio and other stuff, written some books, and that's just a part of it.
It's a long story, huh, Aage?
Yeah, it's not over yet.
Well, I'm trying to encourage people to enjoy the journey of life. Too many people are rushing to the red light. They're rushing to retirement. They're rushing through life. And if they could just stop and smell, I did a video the other day. I called it "Stop and Smell the Roses." I will always stop and smell the rose if I walk by a rose bush. I'll stop if I see a nice scenery, and because life is fleeting. I mean, people don't get how short it is until they hit their mid-50s, typically.
Yeah, I know it. And in fact, life, probably what we call anything from 80 to 90 to 100 years of age, life probably is somewhere between 5 to 10 seconds. But the existence is 85 years. Because look at it this way. When somebody dropped the body, they have a replay of all of their life. It just happens. They replay the whole life in a matter of 5 to 10 seconds. But you feel everything that you have done. Anything you've done to someone else that hurt them, you feel their pain, and you relive the whole thing. But it takes only 5 to 10 seconds. That is probably life. But the existence from the projected holographic image that we are living every day here, or we think we do, that takes us 85 years.
Yeah, that's the physical existence. Whereas, because we all have total recall. People, very few people can pull it. I knew Ronald Reagan. He actually dated my mom, and he had total recall before he had zero recall. Mary Lou Henner is the only other person I know on the planet that I know of that has total recall. She can recall every moment of her life, every day, every moment, as if she's looking at a photograph or a videotape. And and we all have that capability. That's why you're saying when we die, that memory bank empties out. And I probably emptied out in less than 5 seconds, I imagine, too, because we are supercomputers. Our brain, nobody's invented the computer to even match what we do, what our brains are doing every millisecond.
Yeah, that's for sure. And this total recall or eidetic memory, which is called, that can be taught because in 1997, I traveled around actually 96, I think it was. I traveled around the United States teaching a mind development course that actually taught that kind of photographic memory.
Really?
And,
wow.
Yeah, and we taught people how to read at the rate of about 50 to 100,000 words per minute with 95% retention.
Yeah, speed reading. Yeah, I wish I knew how to do that.
It can be taught, and that's the Zox Pro training that we're doing. And you can learn some fantastic things with it, but they wouldn't teach you that in school, of course, because, gosh, if you could remember everything you've read, and then, but you have 2 PhDs by the time you were 14, what do you need teachers for?
Yeah, they don't want any kind of change in the system. They just don't want change. It's status quo, and there's many inventions out there that are going to shake up, how we live life, and it breaks up the 15 or 13 families that control everything, and they don't want change.
Oh no, absolutely not. They just want it's a jobs program.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's up to us, you and me and people like us, to try as much as we can to spread this information and help people wise up a little bit so they can go out and do the same thing we're doing. It's exponential in some ways because we're going to run into people that listen to us. Well, and they're going to say, wow, I'm going to learn more about that a year later. They're doing what we do.
Yeah, well, you actually introduced me to the telomeres in a previous interview, and that was exciting to know about. And this program, I've got over 100 podcasts now, and every single podcast is teaching the audience something to improve your... And I don't have a lot of listeners, but what I have is I'm building a library of information that people can access anytime. Go back and listen to some great interviews. I haven't hyper tagged them yet. But I'm just, I'm enjoying myself immensely having these kind of conversations, and the people that are listening to them, they're learning a lot. It's really fun.
Absolutely, and you mentioned the telomeres. That is probably so important that maybe you want to take 20 seconds to run through that, because in 2009, there were 3 doctors got the Nobel Prize for discovering an enzyme that reverses the aging process, and nobody seems to know about it.
Nope.
And I write about that, actually what to do and how to do it. I'm doing it. And in my book, Spiritual Science, Higher Conscious Thinking and How to Access the Universal Consciousness, you can read about how to do it. And I'm doing it the same way that a guy in China that died from an accident at the age of 256 years of age. And I can see it working on me. I am 73 years old and I got more energy, and I've never been sick in my life except for hangovers. But,
well, the way I tell it, and I'm not an expert like you yet, but I make it real simple. I like to make all my life simple because I suffer from CRS. And you know what CRS is, don't you? Yeah, can't remember shit. But
okay.
Here's what I do remember about your dissertation on telomeres, that it's like a shoelace unraveling in our DNA,
yeah.
And you need to keep them healthy. And if you did the right things to your body, the right nutrients, the right exercise, the right thinking, and the right rest in your mind, they won't unravel.
That's right.
So I keep it as basic as, they'll get a lot more than that statement there.
Yeah, and in fact, you can lengthen the telomeres, which means that you will become younger after a period of time when the cells have been able to replicate themselves more than what they were able to do before.
Oh well, that's I learned something new. I didn't remember that you said you can lengthen them. That's great.
Yeah, you can. There are people doing that now. I've been talking about this for a couple of years. I've been doing it for a couple of years, and I see the difference. So I'm going to keep doing it.
Well, that's. Want to give the basics on that or no?
Oh yeah, that's there's a set of herbal things that you can take that the guy in China was taking, and also there is a mental exercise and as well as a physical exercise, but especially the mental exercise that like the Chinese university professor that came to New York in the 1950s and on an exchange program. And he went out with some colleagues and got food poisoning and died. And, of course, he ended up at the morgue, and they called the ambassador and said, there's something wrong with this guy's paper. He's 154 years old. That can't be right. And the ambassador said, well, no, that's true. He is. And they asked him how. And the ambassador told them, first of all, he only eat Chinese herbs and berries. And he knew he could not die. That tells us what's in our mind has a tremendous effect on the body.
Yep. That's why it's so important to be fantastic.
There you go. And we should. I'm starting to do it now. I've been listening to you for a while. I'm starting to do it.
Well, Aage, I can't do it alone. And what I'm going to invite you to be, if you accept this responsibility, which is, if it's not fun, don't do it. But if you agree, you would be number 14, and I call them the ambassadors of positivity. And it's just people that are having fun with it, that agree that we need to spread this, because we really need to make a better humanity for mankind. I mean, these cities are not only they're polluting physically, they're polluting mentally.
Absolutely.
And if we can bring the small town mentality, I don't know if you've ever been to a small town, but it is wonderful to see people hugging in the streets and letting them in traffic and opening doors and saying thank you and saying you're welcome and just being kind. If we can do that in the big city, we really can. But it takes everyone to do it. It's like, I always felt my vote didn't count. What's one vote going to do? But in this instance, being positive, if everyone starts being positive and kind, it will make a difference in our society.
Absolutely, it will. And just keep doing it.
So, Aage, you want to be ambassador of positivity number 14?
Absolutely, I'll grab it.
Okay, you're in. You're number 14.
Okay.
Because we're going to need thousands of these ambassadors and I'm in 10 countries now, but it's it hasn't gone viral yet, and I'm hoping it does because it's so rewarding to hear the success stories that it's given so far, and with only 1,160 some odd people. It's really fun, and I love when I hear someone like yourself say the things that you said that actually I agree with. I mean, it's just so, it's almost like the experience I get when I'm in a test in school and I know the answer. That is the greatest. I didn't know many answers in school, but when I did know an answer, it was so rewarding. So it felt so good to know that is the answer. And of course, now as a grown man, I know the answer is being positive. That's the answer.
Yeah.
Smiling. Smiling is one of the most important things you can do for your body. And saying the word fantastic. And I tell people, Aage, not just to say it upon, greeting when someone asks you how you are. I say it, you should say it every day. Say it to your wife, what a fantastic meal you just cooked. You look fantastic today. What a fantastic day we're having. I mean, use it as often as possible. The word means, in the dictionary, unimaginably good and beautiful. So, but it's the only word in answer to that age-old rhetorical question that puts a smile on your face.
Absolutely, and I learned too that one of the other things that you teach in that my development course was that I don't care how rotten you feel, put a smile on your face, a wide smile on your face, because it is theoretically impossible to feel rotten if you have a smile on your face.
It's funny you say that. The only argument I get, Aage, is from some millennials, and they'll say, if I don't feel fantastic, why should I say it? Now, that statement is a selfish statement, if you think about it, because that means they're only thinking of themselves. And when you tell someone you're fantastic, even if you're not, one, it's going to make you smile, which is going to make you feel a little bit better, but two is it's a karmic thing. You're actually making someone else smile when you say that word, each and every time, by the way. You can't hear that word and not smile. And I've proven this for the last 8 months, day in and day out. And when I get some people to say it for the first time, that they're fantastic, you should see their eyes light up. The energy they get, it's so incredible. And I can't wait to stand in front of a stadium of 10,000 people and get 10,000 people screaming, I am fantastic. I can't wait to feel that energy.
Yeah, and being in front of somebody and putting a smile on your face, it's like a disease. It spreads.
Yeah, it's contagious. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, what I say is you look better when you smile, you feel better when you smile, you live longer when you smile, and there's a whole litany of positive things. You'll sell more product. If you're in sales, in management, you get more respect. It creates engagement. It makes the world a better place. I mean, the list is pretty long of what being fantastic does.
Yeah, and if you're in sales, definitely got to do it because the customers will like you more. And when they like you, they buy from you.
Yeah, I always tell people in sales, you're not selling a product. You're selling your relationship with that buyer. Yeah. And when I call someone, typically, I mean, I don't want to brag or anything, but when I call someone, they like to answer the phone because they know they're going to have a good time talking to me. And I know that when some salespeople are calling me, and I got to go, oh my God, I have to talk to him or her. It's like that's not what you want in sales.
Oh no, it's not. Yeah, boy, it's interesting, isn't it? Because when you say something like that, when somebody asks you and you say you're fantastic, there is varied reactions to it. Some people, they get it, and they go with it right away, and the other people, they get puzzled. Wow, never heard that one before.
It's very rare. A lot of people think they're sarcastic when they're saying it, but a lot of people have negative thoughts, and they're just negative people. And I tell everyone I talk to, get rid of negative thoughts. They're cancerous. Eliminate negative people from your life. They're a cancer. And if someone doubts that you're fantastic, you shouldn't even be talking to them.
Yeah.
They're a waste of time.
Yeah, that's right. Especially people that you have conflict with all the time, just walk circles around them.
Yeah, don't stop answering the call. What I tell a lot of people that are on their own that have negative parents, I said, when you were young and you did something wrong, you got punished. If you have a negative parent and you're on your own, punish them back. Say, here's what's going to happen. I'm on my own. You're being negative. I'm going to stop talking to you. I'm not going to take your calls until you start behaving yourself. When you start to be positive, call me again and hang up. And they'll come around because they love you, and they're the ones that have made the mistake of being negative. So, I think that's pretty good advice for the young people out there that are having problems with their parents.
Oh yeah, and see, the old saying, that you can choose your friend, but you can't choose your family. Oh no, you can choose your family too. Just like you said, if there's somebody in your family that is totally negative, flush them until they just surface on their own.
Well, Aage, you just joined the family of the Be Fantastic movement as ambassador of positivity number 14. I'll send you the link. You know where the links are, BeFantasticToday.com, obviously. I've got over 600 interviews on uplifting interviews with total strangers. And Aage, I'm still very proud to say that in the over 600 interviews, I've never did a rehearsal, I never did an edit, and I never did a second take. And every single interviewee had a great time in the conversation.
Yeah.
That's a pretty, I don't want to brag all the time, but I'm pretty proud of that. And
that's good.
I'm breaking all the rules of social media. I'm not broadcasting the same time every day or even once a week. I'm not talking about the same subject all the time. But I'm creating a catalog of good information, and it's always going to be accessible because that's the internet for you,
Yeah.
Aage, thank you for your time. Thank you for agreeing to be ambassador of positivity number 14. Everyone listening out there, if being fantastic has affected you, please contact us at montythetalkshow@gmail.com. We want you to be part of the documentary on this worldwide movement to make the world a better place. Everyone, be fantastic. Closing word there, Aage?
I'm sorry, say again?
Closing word for you?
Anybody that wants to get a hold of me, just catch up with me on Facebook or also we have we're doing video shows at www.broadcastteamalpha.com. You can catch up with us there.
Very good, Aage. Thanks for participating. Everybody, be fantastic.
All right, be fantastic.